Kamran Bokhari joins me now for more on this attack. He is the senior fellow with the Center for Global Policy and a fellow with George Washington University's program on extremism. Kamran, this just talking to two journalists from Germany, both of them seem like this is a head scratcher. They can't quite figure this out. Earlier, people were saying, well, maybe this is neo-Nazi, maybe it's ISIL. What's your sense as you sift through the information?
So the fact that he's a German Iranian, someone from an Iranian background, suggests that problematizes that whole jihadist thing, because Iranians, now he may be an Iranian who's a Sunni who may have joined ISIS, but it's a stretch. Usually Iranians are Shiites. He's kind of like that guy who took hostages in that cafe in Sydney in 2014, who turned out to be an Iranian, who was on an Iranian watch list as an extremist. So it's kind of weird that we have, on one hand, a slew of attacks by jihadist actors, and then this one attack takes place which doesn't fit the bill.
Interesting. I want to talk to you a little bit about the Westgate Mall attack in Kenya, in Nairobi. That was in 2013. 57 people killed, 175 wounded. When an attacker goes into a mall, you talk about soft targets. I mean, this is a really tough one for police. They can go in all different directions, and there's a lot of people there. The possibility of high casualties, very high.
Absolutely. Every time I walk into a mall here or in my home country, Canada, I'm worried. I'm thinking, can there be someone who can attack while I'm there, my family's there, my friends are there? You can't tell. You can never tell, when this will happen. It's just too difficult. There are just too many soft targets, too many cities, and too many people from, the volume of attacks that we're now noticing in quick succession. So this is one of those things where, you can be prepared, you can create social awareness, civic awareness. We're doing something here, if you see something, say something. But at the end of the day, if you have someone with a gun who goes into a mall, chances are there's going to be an unfortunate incident. It's
interesting. The UK Defense Minister, Michael Fallon, was just talking here in DC yesterday. I was listening to his speech, basically, and he was saying, you look at the caliphate, it's shrunk by about 40%. ISIL's in trouble. They're having trouble paying their people. Foreign fighters, recruiting them, they're having difficulty with that. It almost is this portrait of, wow, things are looking great. And yet every day, it seems, we're seeing a terrorist attack here or there. This one, of course, may not be ISIL related, but there seems to be these dueling narratives out there. And the public, how do they sift through all this information?
So, I mean, what I've been doing in my professional, work on this is that I take all those reports with a grain of salt. It's, those things don't add up. And first of all, if you analyze strategically and tactically those loss of territories, you'll see that most of those territories are non-essential to the so-called caliphate. Because the core of ISIL is from Raqqa to Deir ez-Zor in Syria. And then there's Mosul in Iraq. They haven't lost any of that. So Ramadi, Fallujah, they've changed hands many times. It's not a good indicator of ISIL weakening. So that's the problem. And obviously, when you have attacks in Europe, then people start to question, what are you talking about?
In the metrics, perhaps the measurements, as you say, not the right ones. What are you going to be looking for in the next couple of days in terms of information coming from Munich? What will be of interest to you?
Clearly, the motive of this individual. Is he, first of all, his identity. If he's Iranian, is he Shiite? If he's Shiite, then he can't be ISIS. Then what's his motivation? Why is he doing this? Is it a personal vendetta? Is he a disturbed individual? And then if he's a disturbed individual, then how do we reconcile the timing with the wider context of jihadist attacks taking place in quick succession and in Europe and elsewhere? So we really need more information on the individual. What is his intent? And then we'll be able to piece this together. This may just be one of those statistical outliers that happen to take place at a time when ISIS is attacking as well, or ISIS-inspired individuals are doing their stuff. But that would be a huge coincidence.
Kamran Bokhari, always a pleasure having you on the broadcast. Thanks so much for your insights.
Thanks for having me.